congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much.
Saw it on Monday. We're on Wednesday now.
Great.
And yeah, it's an amazing film because it doesn't shy away from telling the whole story. You know, I guess if this had been made in the 80s or wherever, it would have stopped where it unified the world title. You know, unified
Absolutely.
the titles. But this has gone down to tell everything. So for you as an actor, what's it like to pick up a script that doesn't shy away from all that story?
Really, really exciting. What Rowan's crafted is so unapologetic, and I think the script serves everybody. It allows us to be able to see everyone's perspective in a really nuanced and beautiful way. And I think we're in a time now where for us to be able to understand how to move forward as a community and as a world, we have to have those difficult conversations and really look at ourselves and reflect on our own actions. And I think that the film encapsulates all of that really beautifully. The final scene in the film, where that's sort of the imagined scene across the ring, for me was like, makes you think of all the conversations that never get to happen because of the world we live in now. And I think the only way we move forward is by making sure those conversations do. So
And
I hope that makes sense.
yeah, no, it totally does, because that scene is very moving. But for the whole film, it seems to be, you could have finished it at any one of 10 different points, and one person would have been the hero and one person might have been the villain. But by telling the whole story, it's almost a lesson for this generation, because he came from a time before all the Britain's Got Talent and X Factors and things like that. And success doesn't come without a price.
Nope.
So it is fascinating to see that story told on the screen.
No, you're right, and I think that what the script does and the way that it's sort of been put together means that you can leave it really getting an understanding of everyone and the duality of what it is to be human, right? Like, there's things you do that are great and there's things you do that aren't so great, and those are things that you just have to live with. Yeah, you put it better than I did, so I don't know what to say.
And obviously working with Pierce doesn't hurt either.
Working with Pierce is like the coolest thing in the world. Like, my parents came to set one day because Pierce, they were huge fans of Pierce. I grew up with Pierce as my bond, and he wasn't in the morning. I was in the morning. He was in the afternoon, and I was in the chair getting my makeup taken off, and I heard this big scream from outside the makeup truck, shriek, and it was my mother going, Pierce, Pierce, you're my favourite Bond. Like, she was so, and I was like in the chair, I was like, oh God, I need to go save the poor man. And I went out, and at first he was like, didn't know what was going on, and then when he saw me, I was like, he's my mum and dad. He was so generous with his time and his kindness, both on set and off set. It was an honour. It's an honour.
And Brendan was an amazing man who had the ability to spot talent and develop it. Who in your life has been the Brendan who's spotted your talent and keeps you going through all the difficult times?
Wow, that is a really good question. It's, emotional. I think that there are two people that spotted my talent and were like really championed me, and that was Liz Langrick and Freya Crofton at Roundhay High School. Big up. They spotted how much I cared about storytelling and characters and world building, that they had to come to my house to convince my parents to let me audition for drama school. And I feel incredibly lucky that at such a young age I had two champions that really saw me and backed me in a way that at the time my family couldn't. So those two, I owe a lot to them, I think. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on this role.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
To meet you. Enjoy tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey,